Hey, beloved, happy Valentine's Day, people. How's your love day going? I hope that you are having a wonderful time with all the people that you love and that you're just surrounded by people that love you. You know what I'm saying? It's just good to be alive. It's just good to be here. It's good to be here with you. Thank you for tuning in. I got a great show for you, okay? I got an amazing guest. My dear sister Nikki's here. And she's had a journey with love and life and all of that, the ups and downs. And you're going to enjoy her because this is a life that has lived some amazing experiences. And she's come back from the other side to share her story with us. I'm going to encourage her, give her some insight on how to make love happen, in spite of the fact that she's gone through, ups and downs and divorce and kids and all of that. Love can find you at any age, in any season of your life. Love can make its way to you. I'm going to do some talking tonight about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk a little bit about a lot of stuff. Let's start the show. Let's do some headlines. Let's go. Shows. Listen, I'm not going to do a whole Super Bowl thing. This isn't a sports show, although I could do that show, Steve-O, just so you know. I could do that show. Steve-O's over here now. He used to be back here, but now they moved him over here. So if you see me, Steve-O's over here. Anyway, so the Super Bowl halftime show was amazing, wasn't it? I'm just saying. It was amazing. And let me just say, Steve-O and I agree, it was way better than last year when the Weeknd got up there and embarrassed the race. With his horrible singing. That boy was terrible, okay? He was terrible. And you know I'm right. Don't act like I'm not right. But Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre, Eminem, who am I forgetting, Steve-O? Snoop, 50 Cent. Steve-O, you're not going to help me? You just going to look the other way and I'm trying to get help on the names? Are we going to be like this tonight? Anyway, all of them were fantastic and amazing. And I'm not even a big Dr. Dre fan. I'm not a big Snoop fan. I'm not a big, but I thought they were amazing and great. So shout out to the black people doing their doggone thing at halftime. Best halftime show other than Michael. Did Michael Jackson do the halftime show? Yeah, well, other than Mike, because ain't nobody better than Mike, okay? Let's not be crazy. But they were great. Anyway, let's talk about some online pastors, people. Segue. See how that segue was? Terrible segue. So here's what's going on. Apparently, there's a rapid rise in online ordinations of pastors in recent weeks because California and other states, I presume, are requiring that people get vaccinated or be fired. And what's happening is people are using religious exemptions in order to not be vaccinated. So there's a rise in online and people registering to be online pastors, not because they feel a call to the ministry, which is why you should be a pastor, by the way, but they're becoming online pastors so that they can copy and paste letters for people to get out of being vaccinated. Okay? So people are trying to use religion to avoid being vaccinated. That's the bottom line. And I'm still waiting for all these people who are using religion to avoid being vaccinated to tell me what parts of being Christian tell you ain't got to be vaccinated. Like what parts of Christianity or Christian doctrine are against vaccination? Listen, I've studied it. I think I'm the only one on this show who went to seminary. So I'm just saying, I have studied the religion and ain't nothing in it that can justify somebody saying, well, I'm a Christian, so I ain't got to be vaccinated. And I brought this story to you because it just goes to show that people will use religion to do and justify anything. You know what I'm saying? People will use religion to justify everything that they want. All right? You can find a verse to support anything. You can literally find a verse to support A and then a verse to support the opposite of A, B. But I got some verses for you. Since you all want to find verses, I got some verses for you. Nikki, these are for you too. Come on, Nikki, we're going to have some fun. All right? Nikki can't talk yet, but we can have some fun even though she can't say nothing. All right? Check this out. The Bible is, there are verses in the Bible that prohibit you from eating cheeseburgers. You can't eat meat and dairy. The Bible says you can't eat shrimp. I done lost half the black people already. Cheeseburgers and shrimp? Come on, y'all. There are verses in the Bible that say you can't get tattoos, can't wear earrings. You can't play football because you're not supposed to touch the dead skin of an unclean animal. There are verses in the Bible that say women can't be in leadership. There are verses in the Bible that say polyester is an abomination. Yeah, polyester. The Bible says that two fabrics should not be blended together and worn. Polyester? Come on now. There are verses in the Bible that say, there are verses in the Bible, rather, that endorse slavery. The Bible is never against slavery. Here's nothing the Bible is never against polygamy. So technically, Steve-O, you could have 9 wives and be biblical. You write in the word. And somebody says something about you being out of the way, you can say, look, I'm writing in the book. Because the Bible never is against polygamy. You can have 1,900 wives. The Bible says that disobedient children should be stoned. The Bible says that a woman's body is not her own. Okay, I'm not against the Bible, as all of you know. My point is, you have to take every verse in context and in conversation with some sort of rational, critical inquiry. You can't just pull something out and throw it at somebody and think because you pulled it out that the conversation is over. Nothing in the tenets of Christianity say that you don't or you shouldn't be vaccinated. But I did find a verse that's going to help people. You ready? There is a verse in the Bible, Leviticus 19:13, that says that a worker's wages should not be held overnight. So the next time your direct deposit doesn't come on time, you go tell your boss, pay me right now, damn it, because the Bible says so. Let's move on. Today's Valentine's Day. Let's talk about a bad marriage. You want to hear about a bad marriage? So Spirit Airlines and Frontier Airlines are joining together. They're merging. Look at Nikki's face. They're merging to create a whole new airline. Okay? This is the epitome of a dysfunctional relationship on its way to being a bad marriage. Because Spirit Airlines and Frontier Airlines are 2 of the worst airlines in the history of the world. And these 2 are under the impression that if bad gets together with bad, it's going to come out with something good. Oh, my God. Individuals do this all the time, and apparently companies are falling into the misnomer. 2 bad people. Y'all ready? Because it's Valentine's Day. I got a lot of advice for you people on love. 2 bad people will never create a good relationship no matter how hard or how long they try. You know you want to say amen because you know I'm right. And here's why I'm right. No relationship can rise higher than the people that make it up. The character of the people that make up the relationship determine the quality of the relationship. People don't get better because they're in a relationship. You follow what I'm saying? Relationships don't change people, they reveal people. And when you lay next to somebody every night for 10 years, it ain't changing them, it's revealing who they are. You see me when I tell you, your relationship is a reflection of you. And that's the part that most people don't want to hear. Your relationship, because you make up half of it, don't look at me funny, your relationship is a reflection of you. And even if the fact that it's a bad relationship isn't necessarily your fault, the fact that you're still in a bad relationship and won't leave it is also a reflection of you. You know I'm doing my good teaching tonight. Relationships are a reflection of you. Who you are comes out in your relationship. I can look at your relationships and they'll tell me who you are. You follow what I'm saying? See, every bad relationship that people sort of allow themselves to get in ultimately reflects poorly upon the intention that created it. Now back to Spirit and Frontier before I move on. So a lot of people are going to fly in this new airline with these 2 bad airlines getting together. A lot of people are going to rush out and buy tickets because there's some people who don't want to pay a lot and they cheap and they look. As long as the prices are low, I'll buy a ticket and get on the plane. But there are a few of us left in the world who understand something very important, and here it is. How much a thing costs isn't the only thing that matters. When you're talking about being 35,000 feet up in the air, getting there safely matters more. So when it comes to your life, beloved, don't be cheap. You feel me? Because sometimes you get what you pay for. And sometimes you get what you pray for. And sometimes you get who you are. That was good. Let's move on. Let's talk about Canada. Oh, this is interesting because Canada now, doctors in Canada are writing prescriptions for people to spend time in the national parks. Doctors are actually in Canada are actually ordering people to spend time outside with nature because people are suffering from pandemic and social media crazy. And doctors are writing prescriptions for people to have year-long, lifetimes, in some cases, passes to the national parks in Canada. Let's just call a thing a thing. You ready for this? People are not doing well, okay? After the pandemic, people are not doing well. The level at which people are acting out and being violent and aggressive is astounding. I was talking to a friend of mine who just had an incident in a store the other day. People are acting out and being aggressive, and it's astounding at the levels to which people are doing this. And here's my question. Did 2 years of COVID undo 20 or 30 years of doing well? Or did 2 years of COVID expose what was already happening? That's the question, right? I think it's a great question and a good question. The number of people who have killed themselves in the last 2 weeks is astounding. The children of famous actresses, Miss USA, I mean, go down the list. And it just goes to show you again that we need to check on people. We need to know how people are doing, because you can look good and you can sound good and not be doing well at all. I make fun of my producer rather, she's also my friend, but my producer Jocelyn is always going hiking. You know, when she goes hiking, I give her a hard time. What are black people doing going hiking? But listen, Jocelyn is on to something, because nature can heal us in ways that social media can't. Our whole lives are about screens and phones, but the digital world is not the real world. And I want you to be reminded of that. Just spend 15 minutes in a public place and just look around at how many people are looking down and not up. Most people you're surrounded with are looking at a screen. And what they don't realize is that they're missing it. They're missing nature. They're missing life is happening all around them. And we got our face down in Facebook, trying to figure out what somebody said about somebody else and what somebody else is doing. That's why doctors in Canada are advising that people go to the national parks, because it's not a good thing to live your life and miss half of it because you're looking in a screen. You know what I'm saying? And here's the last thing I'm going to say on this. A person can be smiling on Instagram and then an hour later take their lives. Just going to let that simmer. Here's my last one. National Archives has asked the Justice Department to investigate former President Donald Trump. You know I had to give you a Trump story, all right? You just knew that was coming. Because Donald Trump can't even leave right, okay? He's so ignorant, he can't even leave right. Apparently, Donald Trump violated and broke the Presidential Records Act, which is an actual law. And that law says that the president and nobody's administration cannot destroy papers and certainly cannot remove classified papers from the White House. And what did old Donald Trump do? He ripped up shredded papers and took papers down to Mar-a-Lago. Because Donald Trump can't even leave right. He couldn't lead right, L-E-A-D, and he can't leave right. Oh my God. But here's the wisdom. You ready? You ready? Here's the wisdom. This is going to bless you, Valentine's Day people. How a person leaves tells you what the relationship was really all about. Ooh, I could throw my shoe at the camera and break it. I'm telling you right now. People who leave messy were messy when they were with you. You follow what I'm saying? I'm telling you, how a person, it's not love at the wedding. It's love at the divorce. You follow me? Anybody can love you at the wedding, but who will love you at the divorce? Who will be kind enough at the moment of separation not to want to destroy you when they can't stand you? That's when you know it's love. Anybody can love you in your white dress and you wearing a tuxedo, everybody smelling good and being cute. Anybody can love you as long as they like you, but who will love you when they can't stand you? When you're getting on their nerves. People who have to burn you because they have to leave you never cared about you. I'm telling you, watch how people walk out of your life. And so Donald Trump never loved America. He never cared about America. You know how I know? Because he left like a thief in the night. His loving was indicative of his true emotions about the country. He left, check this out, and while he's walking out the door, he's breaking the law. Let's bring this back to you before I take this break, before we bring out Nikki and talk to her tonight. A lot of people walked out your life, and right before they walked out your life, they were determined to break your heart and shatter it in a million pieces. And here you are trying to wonder what happened and what you did wrong and how you can be better next time. And you're missing the wisdom that I'm trying to give you right now. How they left had nothing to do with you. Why they left may have everything to do with you, but how they did it, that's on them. Because just because you give me a reason to go, you don't determine the manner by which I exercise that reason. And if I have character in the morning when we having good old monkey sex, then I need to have character in the midnight hour when I want you out of my life. I want you to stop breaking yourself down and trying to figure out what you did wrong. Stop all that. You were married, you were connected, you were dating a master manipulator, a narcissist, and a master thief. You know how I know? Because when they left, they tried to destroy you and not make you better. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back with my dear sister Nikki and some Ask Dr. Sean. Welcome back, everybody, doing my happy dance. Because, you know, it's Valentine's Day and everybody's loving somebody, even if the somebody you're loving is you, okay? So I got some Valentine's Day advice. We don't have a bumper for this. Normally I make them do bumpers for stuff. But here's Dr. Sean's Valentine's Day advice. I got advice for you if you're single, and I got advice for you if you got somebody. All right, let's do the single people first. All right? For everybody who's single and watching the show right now and it's Valentine's Day, I need you to come out your feelings and stop feeling bad about the fact that you're single, okay? Because being single is not a sin, and being single is not a curse. It's just where you are right now. In fact, what I often say to people is that being single has as much to do with being with somebody, as being with somebody has something to do with being with somebody, because you're preparing for the relationship you want right now. You follow what I'm saying? There's a connection between singleness and relationshipness. You know what I'm saying? And people who did not prepare when they were single are not ready when they find somebody, because you can't be ready when you find somebody. You better be ready when nobody else around. So here's the first thing. Stop resenting where you are. Stop resenting tonight. You don't need to hate the fact that other people have somebody and all the love posts you see on Instagram. You ain't got to be mad about that. Here's my advice to you. Celebrate everybody's capacity to find and have love. Wish them well. Like all the photos, because the more you send out good energy in that direction and a powerful spirit in that direction, the more you will ultimately end up with a relationship yourself. How about that? Negativity will almost certain keep you single longer than you want to be. And the challenge for all of us is not to feel some type of way. Don't get in all your feelings because you see somebody. Celebrate what people have and know that your time is coming and that you are preparing for the love that you deserve when you are single and don't have anybody else. Second piece of advice for people who are single on Valentine's Day is this is the day where you get to experience love as well. You follow what I'm saying? My sister Nikki's about to come out, but let me just give you this real quick before I bring her out. Make sure that you love on yourself today, and make sure that you celebrate your friends today. All love is not romantic love. You follow what I'm saying? If today is the day that we celebrate love, then why aren't you telling your friends you love them, your family you love them, your kids you love them, the people that taught you on 8th grade that this is the love day. It's not called a sex day, people. Although I'm not opposed to a day for that. I'm just saying. It's called the love day for a reason. All right. I did the dating people, just threw me off talking in my ear. I'll give the dating people your advice later on. Anyway, my dear sister Nikki's here. Nikki, come on out here. Nikki.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being on the show tonight.
No problem. My pleasure.
Well, thank you. With your nice hair.
Here you go.
I'm determined to make you smile tonight. You hear me? This is my goal. My goal is to make sure when this is over that you feel amazing, okay?
All day, every day.
Thank you. So good. I love it. So I got some beginning questions I want to ask you, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter. Give me your gratitude list. Give me all the things you're grateful for.
Oh, I'm grateful for waking up this morning, family, a roof over my head in these trying, turbulent economic times. I'm thankful for everything, that my boys are healthy and becoming young Black men and kings and not stereotypes. I'm just happy to be here.
I love it. Tell me some things that you love to do.
I love to travel, karaoke, and as corny as it sounds, I do love to be the loud, proud mom in the stands for my football playing son and the basketball player. So I like to do that. Kind of corny, but I like it. I like hanging with them, taking their money. We have a game room, so we have family night where we play pool, darts, skee ball, whatever. So just spending time with them. which is actually Corona's kind of helped that because now they're home more with me instead of, with their friends.
Listen, I love that. I had a very similar relationship to my sons when they were in grade school and high school. We weren't just parent child. We were also I don't know. Can black people call their kids friends?
You're not supposed
yeah,
to.
Yeah, black kids like I'm not your friend. But we were very cool and we still are. So I love that. I honor that. So I know you were, if I got it correct, I know you were married for 7 years, right? For 7 years. Talk to me, and I don't you have to mention, your ex in any specific way. I'm asking generally speaking about how the marriage was to you. So generally speaking, what were those 7 years like, and how were you when it ended?
They were trying. They were interesting. I think that for as long as you want, people can send their representative, and you don't know who they are until you're actually waking up to them for an extended period of time. Like you said, without the pretty dress, the fancy tuxedo, and the good smelling cologne, we're talking about when they breath stink, when they don't know how to act, how they deal with bad days at work, etc. So it taught me a lot about myself. It humbled me. I left. I feel like I entered the marriage or the union as a whole proud being woman, and I left as a broken shell of an individual.
That's rich. That's rich. Please say more about that. What precipitated or facilitated that destruction?
I think it's just the lack of appreciation. Sometimes, women can work so hard and we'll make sure dinner is made and the kids are good and hair is cut and still have a full-time job. And it's just not good enough. It's never enough, whether it's infidelity. It's never enough, whether it's verbal abuse or physical abuse. So you have to kind of just tell yourself, hey, throw your hands up and say, I've done everything I can do, given all that I can. And what I have now, I have to pick up pieces to raise 3 boys.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to be lost and distraught, right? Because these boys, somebody's got to raise them. Yeah. So it had to be me.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, that's powerful. It really is. I honor everything you've just said. It strikes me. I'm awestruck at how you can even go through that kind of experience, and then you be here tonight, and you manifest yourself as just being a kind, a warm, a beautiful, a connecting woman. And so, listen, you got something that no man can destroy. Come on now.
Thank you.
Don't play with me tonight, Nikki. I'm ready. I came with both barrels blazing. So listen, and I know you went through a divorce. And for those of us who've never been either married or have gone through a divorce, let me ask you a strange question about it. What did the divorce teach you about you? What did it teach you?
It taught me that it's okay to not be as strong as you want to be perceived. It taught me it's okay to be, you can have weak moments without that making you weak as a person and as a woman. It took nothing away from me. It was a deterrent, I thought, to my character, just dealing with some of the adversity and issues, but it wasn't me, because at some moment it can try and redefine you and say, this is what you are. You're just like the next woman, just like the last woman, and this is just who you are. And I was like, no, I'm not. I am who I was before I entered this marriage, and I will be even better when I exit.
I love that. Listen, I could not have even said that better myself in terms of what I would hope that someone would learn from a destruction of a relationship. That is such sage, I think, powerful advice. And here's what I got from it. That we don't have to be, and I love how you said it, we don't have to be as strong as we would like to appear. Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, that it's okay for us to appear in the world broken.
Yeah. I think to a certain degree, but I think once you realize that you're broken, you have to do what you can to repair it, right? I can't then go into relationships and hurt others because of what was done to me. I have to repair everything, you know what I mean?
That part.
And make myself back whole. Like, I don't want to glue the pieces. I want to refurbish this whole situation, because that glue is going to crack. At least if it's refurbished, you got a little time left before it all goes to shit. Sorry, before it all goes bad. But
Matthew, make sure you beep that out.
sorry, Matthew.
No, it's all right. It's all right. So that makes me want to ask you this: are you dating now?
What do we call dating? No, I am. I'm dating. I'm dating. I'm getting my feet wet, if you will.
Okay. Okay. Good. And I know if we got it right, I know that you have had some apprehensions about dating with respect to your sons. Can you just talk about that for a second?
Yeah. So there's multiple reasons I think that kind of go beyond normal, but I feel that with boys, well, with children in general, right? You just have to be careful who you bring into their lives. And at some point you take ownership. And I hear what you were saying at the beginning, and I do appreciate you laid a lot of gems at the onset of tonight. But I think that sometimes we get so focused on the destruction of the marriage that you start to second guess your motives and your moves. And am I as a good judge of character, right? As I thought, because if I was, how did I marry this monster? So my thing was like, well, how do I trust myself to allow someone else in? Because I am strong enough and I'm an adult. And if it almost broke me, what would it do to children? So if I were to introduce them to someone who wound up being a deterrent, is it worth introducing them? Is it worth bringing someone into my life? Or should I just lay low until they're all of age? So I did not even start dating until they were 13, till the baby was 13, who's 16 now. And I hadn't dated since my divorce, and I've been divorced for 14 years.
Okay. Okay. So I have two quick questions for you, having said that. Here's my first one. Do you think that your children are ready to see you in a relationship?
Yes, they're tired of me in their relationships. So they are selling me to the highest bidder.
So which leads me to my second question. Do you think your children are ready to see you happy?
Beyond ready. Beyond ready.
So, which leads me to my third question, more impromptu, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are you ready? Do you think that you're ready to see yourself happy and in a relationship?
It sounds good and realistic, but sometimes I'm just like, ugh. You know what I mean? It's not as easy as it sounds. Of course I could say, of course I want to do it, but it does take challenges and work. And I think even though I've only been dating now for a short period of time, I can ascertain what I'm not interested in, what I don't have time for. All those boxes that I thought that person checked is null and void. It's a facade. It's like a reality show. It's only as real as it seems.
Yeah, listen, let me take this break. When I come back, I want to pick up here, okay? Because if I want to do anything for you or with you tonight, I want to bring hopefully greater clarity to this, but what I also want to do is encourage you in a certain direction, all right? Because I like you. Let's take this break. We'll be back with more Nikki and Dr. Sean right after this. Nikki heard. Nikki, so when we took our break, you were mentioning something that I think a lot of people can connect with, and it is this, that people often show up in your life and they act one way, right? But that's not who they are. Talk about some of your experience with that, because you seem to have a level of wisdom and insight on that.
It's some really unique people running the streets here. And in this world of internet dating, like I can't even remember my passwords, right? But I had one gentleman ask me out to dinner. Okay, respectful. And then he was like, after that, we're going to go to a lifestyle club. So I'm in the entertainment industry, so I'm very familiar with sayings and stuff. And I'm like, lifestyle, okay, no. So I just asked for clarification, as I don't like to assume. And I said, well, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's a sexual voyeurism club. So then I'm like, did I put out the wrong energies? Like, which everyone to each their own, everything is fine. But an initial date, even if I weren't. And then it's kind of like, well, you know, you went to school in Atlanta. You went to strip clubs on dates. I'm like, yeah, but that's just so different. I don't, you know. So it's very unique. I will definitely say that.
Listen, I'm so glad I asked you that question. There are no words. That story was so great. There are no words to express how glad I am. Wait, so this was a first date. He wanted you to go to a sexual, what's it called?
It's a lifestyle for people that are
lifestyle
in a
club.
swinger lifestyle.
On the first date.
To meet there initially. Right.
Okay.
And then, like you were saying about people justifying the Bible, he went to that to justify it. Like, well, you're going to do the same thing you do at a regular club. They have drinks, you can dance, they have music. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's rough out here in these streets, huh? I mean,
Man.
it's something going on. So stay in that vein and tell me, what's your biggest fear with respect to finding someone in this season of your life?
Just want to make sure they get along with my kids, respect my difference of professionalism. I think, I'll be 47 next month. So I think when you get older, there's people that are set in their ways, and then there's other people. So they want you to, hey, why are we going out? Let's sit at home. Who wants to go to a jazz club or a cigar lounge or the Super Bowl? Let's just watch everything at home. And I'm not a hermit, but I'm too old to be dropping it like it's hot anywhere. But it's like a happy medium.
Right. Absolutely. So what do you value in a man?
Loyalty, integrity, family oriented, a hard worker. Like even if you're a trash man, just be the best you are at what you do and have some pride and dignity in what you do.
And what do you want potential men in your life to know about you? If all the men in the world were watching right now, right? Every one of us was watching right now, and you can make your statement to us, what would you want all the men in the world to know about you?
I'm dedicated, honest, loyal, and I put my family above everything other than God.
Is that it? Because I feel like you got more to say to us than just that.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot, but I think Shaka Khan said it. I'm every woman. You know what I mean? I'm just cool. Like I like sports. I didn't like sports before. I'm an AKA, so I was very girly. But then I had these 3 sons that wanted to play sports, so now I'm into it more than they are. But I'm not outdoorsy. You can keep the hiking and everything to yourselves, but I like music, travel. I love to cook. I'm better than half you men on the grill, and I can play some mean spades.
You're a catch, Nikki. You're a catch. You're a catch. So let's do some work, all right? Because here's what I want to say to you. I'm glad you know that your kids are ready for you to find someone, and you answered the question perfectly. They're ready for you to be happy. Now we just got to get you ready for that. Because I think it's your turn. I think you've served everybody else, you've helped everybody else, and you've made sure that everybody else was protected and cared for. And I'm saying to you in no uncertain terms that it's your turn now. You're next in line, right? Because your happiness still matters. And here's what I would advise you to do. I want you to add a couple of things to your list, okay? I think loyalty is great. You said some other things that I think are great. But here's the thing that I always say to anybody, man, woman, whoever. Always make sure that the person that you want to date has empathy. Make sure that they can express the ability to think about something from your perspective and to feel your side of the equation. If you find someone with empathy, you can have a future in spite of their flaws, because their capacity with empathy will move them to correction and transformation. If you don't have empathy, you can't change.
Love that.
You follow me? So add that to the list. Here's the other thing I would say to you, add this to the list. Is someone who comes into your life, and I think you kind of said this, so I'm just affirming what you said, but someone who comes into your life and they put their cards on the table. They don't give you their agent. I mean, we all do on some level, but they don't give you the full-blown agent. You know what I'm saying? They come in saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm dealing with, This is where it is, right? And I'm not saying you should accept anybody who does that, or you should accept people that bring things you don't like. But look for someone who can be authentic. That's the word. For whom authenticity is not about ego, right? Because we often men hide because we want our egos to be held to be maintained intact, and we don't want the women in our lives or whoever in our lives to see that we are really vulnerable and there's some parts of us that ain't shining. Empathy, authenticity. And here's the last thing I'm going to say to you. You ready? Because I like you, Nikki. You're a catch. Trust yourself.
Yeah.
Trust yourself to know that if you bring someone into your life and they're not the right one, you are strong enough to escort them right out of your life.
That's right.
Trust yourself to know that this time, I feel this, that this time you are choosing from a different place. Whoever you were and wherever you were, when you chose your husband or other people back then, 14 years ago, whatever it was, that's not where you're choosing from today.
Right.
You're choosing from a very different place, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to choose a very different person. Because our choices reflect who we are and when we happen to be choosing. And I happen to think that you are in a much better place, a much different place. And I think the choice that you make this time is going to be a choice worth the trouble of choosing. What say ye about that, Miss Nikki?
I don't know if I want to throw something at you, snap, pray, but you had some killer insight, and I'm definitely adding all three of those to all three characteristic traits to my list for sure.
That's good. I think you're going to be fine. I think anybody should be honored to be with you. I think you're going to be fine. And I'm so glad, because I was concerned with this in the beginning of this conversation about the undue influence of your children on your dating life, right? But I'm glad to hear that they're teenagers, they're in their late teens, they are dating, they got their own lives, and when it comes to this, they don't need as much protection as they needed when they were 8 or 9 years old. So I'm really glad about that. So here's my final thing. Come on, Nikki, let's get out there, because I want you to come back on the show a year from now and tell me that you found Mr. Wonderful and you guys are heading in the right direction. Because I believe in you, and I think that when the heart is ready, love will show up.
You got it.
Okay, listen, let me take this break before they get to yelling in my ear. And
thank you so much, Dr. Sean.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Listen, everybody, we will be right back with some Ask Dr. Sean. I'm going to give you some more Valentine's Day advice. Y'all keep Nikki in your prayers. Let's believe in her, right? Don't you like Nikki? We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. So, we wish Nikki well. I wish all of you well. Trying to get back out there and find some love. You guys sent me some great questions. Let's do some Ask Dr. Sean. So let's take a look at my first video.
Hi, Dr. Sean. My name is Letitia.
Hi, Dr. Sean. My name is Damien, and we're from New York.
Dr. Sean, me and Damien, we've been dating for about 10 years now. We've met in college. Our relationship has been great. It's just when it comes to arguments. We tend to argue about the smallest little thing. It can be so petty. And we even go the whole day without texting each other or calling. So we need your help when it comes to that. So our question for you today is, couples like ourselves, what's the best way when you're in a relationship with your significant other? What's the best way to overcome an argument, especially when you live together?
Great question. That's an amazing question, by the way. One of the best questions I think I've been asked in this entire Ask Dr. Sean thing I do up here. So let me give you some advice. I think this is an important question. Here's the first thing. What you need to do whenever you are in conflict is to set the rules for engagement when you're not in conflict. The time when you're having an argument isn't the time to try to understand how to facilitate and manage the argument. You have to set those conditions before you get there. And one of the things I suggest to couples all the time, and people just friends, whatever scenario you're in, is to say, look, let people know what you need and what you don't need when you're in conflict, okay? So if you need communication or if you need separation, let people know that before you get into conflict so people will understand why it is you're behaving or acting in a certain way. So if I already know that when we're in conflict, you need space, and you've already told me that, and you've reiterated that to me, then I'm not going to be bombarding you with texts if I have any respect for what you've asked me to do. And I won't take the separation personally because you've told me already what it is you need. So set the ground rules and the conditions for that before you get into conflict. But here's the other thing. I think one of the important things to do whenever you're in conflict with someone is to be honest about what it is, but also tell them, let me make sure I say it right, tell them, the other person, how what has happened affects you. You follow what I'm saying? Tell them how you feel about what's happened and not just have an argument about what happened. Somebody broke something, somebody lied, whatever it was. Now, you can argue about the thing, right? And people will have different perspectives about the thing in question. But the most important thing that gets heard in an argument is how you feel and how it affects you. And I think as long as you do that, you'll have, I think, some shelf life to be able to understand how you can add longevity to this relationship. If you guys continue to have problems, you really should see a therapist or a counselor, someone who can teach you some skills about conflict management. Because most of the time we got into relationships and nobody ever taught us how to disagree without destroying the whole village, right? And so you mentioned in your video, and I know I'm taking a while on this, but you mentioned in your video that sometimes you go whole days without texting each other. That may or may not be a bad thing. The problem with that is you don't know if it's a bad thing because the two of you haven't decided how you're going to manage conflict. You got to decide how you're going to manage it. And if not talking a whole day is something that neither of you are willing to accept, then both of you have the responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen and you both have agreed to not act in that way. But you got to have the conversation first, okay? I'm going to move on, but I'm saying to every couple watching, make sure you understand how it is you're going to handle conflict more than you try to understand how you're going to be with each other in the bed, okay? You're having bedroom conversations, but not conflict conversations. But I wish the two of you well. Anyway, do I have time for this one? Let's do a video about chastity, and let's check this out.
Hey, Dr. Sean, my name is Chastity, and I need some advice. So I just started dating someone, and I wanted to know what kind of gift do you think is appropriate for Valentine's Day, since we've only been dating a month? All right.
Well, listen, I don't know. Steve-O, I don't know the answer to this one. I don't know I don't know enough about the relationship. I don't know if you guys are like hot and heavy. I don't know if you guys are still in the, slow dragging your feet phase. Because people get together after a month. There's some people after a month, they're already sleeping together. I'm just saying. So I don't know what phase that you're in. And I don't know what he likes, right? I don't know what he likes. But I would say to you, if you want to give him a gift, give him something that reflects how you are hoping to feel about him. Because after a month, I don't want to say how you feel about him because you don't even know how you feel about him. You don't even know who he is after a month. But give him a gift that reflects, I think, more of who you are as a person and what you like to manifest and show up in people's lives, okay? If you feel the need or the urge to give him a gift after a month, since it's Valentine's Day, then give him something that really shows him this is what I value, this is who, because after a month, you know more about you than you know about him. You know what I'm saying? So the gift really isn't about pleasing and making him happy, so to speak. It's about showing that you have the ability to care and that maybe you are a giver. So whether or not he loves the gift or whether or not he thinks the gift is just sort of a placeholder of sorts, that ain't the point. The point is you gave him something that reflects you, that shows how you want to manifest in his life. All right? Now, let me give you the opposite direction before I take this break. I got to take this break, though. Here it is. I'm not sure if after a month you should be giving somebody a gift, okay? I'm not sure if after a month you guys should be at the gift-giving phase because you don't want to release into your relationship the principle of providing benefits for people and you don't even know them, okay? Just because it's Valentine's Day doesn't mean somebody should get a gift because you're holding their hand. Especially if I've only been holding your hand for 2 weeks. Okay? We've only been told, a month, listen, I would recommend that instead of giving each other a gift, go somewhere and have a long conversation. Let your voice be the gift. Let your spirit be the gift. And if that's not good enough, you ain't with the right person. Let's take a break. Welcome back, everybody. Let's do some more Ask Dr. Sean. Got another video. Let's take a look at it.
Hi, Dr. Sean. My name is Mariah from Arizona. I have a question for you. So me and my boyfriend are currently engaged. I told him that I didn't want to be engaged for years and that we should have some type of timeline. He doesn't agree and he thinks that we should just go with the flow. What advice do you have for us?
Well, great question. Thank you for the question, by the way. My first advice is for you to decide how much that timeline means to you. Okay? So let's take him out of the equation. Are you clear about the fact that you don't want to be engaged to somebody for years and years and years and years? Okay? Now, why is that the case? Why is the time frame important to you? And I can't answer these questions. I'm asking you these questions. Why is the timeline important to you? Where did you get it from? Who told you that you had to be married within 3 years or 2 years or 5 years or a year? Okay? And what precipitated you accepting that wisdom or that counsel? And I'm only asking these questions because you have to decide whether or not you are willing to hold to what you believe, or you're willing to compromise that belief in the presence of someone that you would like to keep more than you want to hold on to what you believe. I don't know. You follow what I'm saying? Well, let me tell you what I would do. If I didn't want to be engaged to somebody for 5 years, let's throw out a number, because I believe that being engaged to somebody for that long meant that they really didn't want to marry me, or they were not ready to be married to me, then guess what I would do? I would apply that wisdom to whoever was sitting next to me. Because if I'm engaged to you for a long extended period of time, and that says to me that this ain't as serious or this ain't whatever, then I need to face the truth and realize that you, whoever you are, person sitting over here, you may not be ready for where I'm trying to go. And that may mean that a relationship that you thought was heading into the future may not. So the question is, are you prepared to lose a relationship based upon what it is you said you believed about the timeline? And it all goes back to where I started. Where did you get this timeline? How much does it mean to you? Is it valuable to you? So valuable that you're willing to walk away from someone who will not honor your timeline? Because there's only 2 ways to do this, okay? All right? You don't want to get married to somebody in the next year or 2 because you convinced them to do it, right? You had to ultimatum them to do it, threaten them to do it. Who wants to be married under those conditions? So if you're with someone that you have to give an ultimatum to or threaten them to marry you, then what are we really doing right now? I think the only thing you can do is to say to him what this means to you, what the time frame means to you, what it says to you, how it hurts you, right? How it makes you feel and why it makes you feel that way and why you've chosen to live by that. And then you have to trust that he has the character and the commitment and the capacity for transformation to meet you somewhere in the middle. And that's important, to meet you somewhere in the middle. Because you may not get the timing that you want, but you don't necessarily have to be on the timeline that's in his head. You follow? There may be somewhere in the middle. But the only way to get there is to share with him how you feel, how this time situation, what it does to you, what it means to you, and why you're so stuck on it. Okay? But the worst thing you can do is give him a bunch of ultimatums and tell him this: if you don't marry me by the time it's the and if we're not going down the aisle, and then he winds up capitulating. He's married you simply because he didn't want to lose you. And as strange as that may sound, as strange as this may sound, rather, that's not a reason to marry somebody. You want to marry someone because you want to be with them, because you want to spend your life with them, because you want to give them the best of who you are, not because you don't want to lose them. Some of y'all ain't saying nothing right now because you realize that a lot of people married you, or a lot of people who got married or watching right now only got married because they didn't want to lose somebody. Only to discover 2 years into the marriage, that ain't reason enough. So that's what I would do for that, my people. I got one more for you. Let me do this one fast. It's Valentine's Day and I'm single again. Someone DM'd me this. And I'm trying to manifest love and create vision boards. I'm on dating sites, but I still haven't found the one. Should I stop looking for love or just focus on being single? Great question, by the way. You got some really great questions today. Here's my answer to that. All right? I think it's not either or. It's not either or. I don't think the focus should be finding love. I think the focus should always be being a better version of yourself, because when you do that, love will find you. You don't have to look for love, because I believe that love is always looking for us. It's just that when it finds us not ready. It finds us not open. It finds us not over the last person. It finds us not truly single. So the first advice really is, are you truly single? Are you over the last go round? Are you done with what happened the last time? Because love, you don't have to look for love. Love will look for you, and it will find you. It is constantly looking for you. Just make sure this time that when it finds you available. And don't get caught up in the Valentine's Day, people, okay? I love Love Day, Happy Love Day, and I'm cool with it. And I'm single, by the way. But I'm totally cool with people finding love. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's Valentine's Day. And the love that you want is probably already in your life. It's just not manifesting the way you want it to, okay? Let yourself be around friends today. Let somebody who cares about you tell you how they feel about you. It doesn't have to be all romantical and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you, Nikki, for being a part of the show tonight. Thank all of you for watching. Thank you for your videos and your DMs and all of that. Y'all have a wonderful Valentine's Day, okay? And I love you.